think we're live. That's a good way to start any show.
Always.
I hear a new voice here, or a voice we haven't heard for a while. So welcome back, Son of Smog.
Hey. Yes, I'm
Hello.
here for the first time.
Awesome. So it is your first time.
Yes, and I come with beers.
Smog is your daddy?
Well, I've seen Son of Smog.
he
I'm
was.
just not sure if I've ever heard Son of Smog. I don't remember.
Nope, this is my first time talking in this channel.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, I know him from elsewhere. That is why it's not a big surprise.
No wonder you sound new and unfamiliar. Love it. Welcome. Awesome to have you here.
Thank you much.
And awesome to have everybody else. Welcome to the Monstercast, number 35.
Hello.
The greatest monster chat over this part of the universe. Well, today we have Donde in the text chat. Welcome, Donde. We also have Darth Phonics. Welcome, Darth Phonics, over in text. We have Dead Orbit, or Pro, over in text. Maybe voice, we'll see. So welcome, Dead Orbit. Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
Yellow. And welcome, Queen of Kobolds.
Thank you very much.
And welcome, for the first time in voice, Son of Smog. Once again, welcome.
Thank you much.
And welcome, Victor. In voice. Supposedly. And welcome, C.
Hello.
Awesome to have you
King
guys.
of Monsters was awesome.
Yes,
Don't
they've been
know, just came
chatting.
out.
They've been chatting about King of Monsters, so please, if you're watching this somewhere, no spoilers.
I'm trying, but you're so awesome.
And that,
I
I
that is
haven't
great
watched
to
it
hear.
yet, and if you spoil it, I will come over there personally and murder you.
There we go. Spoken like a true monsterite.
Yes, in a very violently sexual manner.
Ooh.
I have to, you know, keep my appearances up.
Right, you're, what's that word? No, I forgot. What a great way to start the weekend, though. Thank you for that, Bog.
No problem.
That is great to hear,
You're
though.
welcome for the demonetization.
No worries. We don't get monetized anyway till we hit, what, 10,000 or something? So, anyway, yes, that is good news that we are hearing good reviews. We'd like to hear your thoughts. No spoilers, but just your thoughts whether you liked Godzilla, the new one, or
The
not.
critics are stupid.
The critics are stupid once again, so we'll see. But so far, so good. I'm going to see it in a couple days, or on Monday, so I'm looking forward to it. Want to see it on a really big screen, but it's pretty wild how expensive the IMAX gets here. Over in your countries, you folks here that are not in the US, do you guys have an IMAX type theater over in your countries?
Yep, I watched it in IMAX precisely.
Ooh, that's hot.
I think
Anybody?
I did, but it looked amazing. Then again, it's a big screen. It really should.
Right. So, yeah, it seems like the movie to do it with, if you're going to do it with any movie. This year, especially. Let's see what's going on in our
Marvel
events.
movies in general are IMAX worthy.
Thank you, Pro, for the shout out to everybody. All right, so let's get started. Oh, crap, I was in the wrong cavern the whole time. Where was I? I don't know.
What did you do?
I was in another universe, I guess. Okay, so let's scroll down here. All right, so today, let's see. Has anybody joined us yet? Not yet. Okay, so we are on YouTube. We are live. Should be live. Over on our Voices of the Monsterhood channel. Today we'll be talking about insectoid monsters. So that could be bug, arachnoid. I think bug is the most general term really for these exoskeleton type creatures. So
Ah,
buggish
good old decapods.
type
Do you
Monsters.
think we can include arachnoids
Absolutely.
as well?
Absolutely. We can
Damn, well, this is
someday
the
we'll
first time
probably
I've been up on
Crustaceans
the
are
first
also
night.
fair game.
crustaceans. That's a little bit more far fetched than spiders here, but we'll include them. I think that's all right. That's all good, especially depending on the type of
With it.
crustacean.
I mean, there's a real life monster I want to talk about then.
Excellent. Good to hear it.
Spiders.
Fuck off, Chris.
Okay. Politely said. See?
Would you kindly go impregnate yourself?
No, but I'll happily come impregnate you if you'd like.
Oh
No.
my. Oh goodness, this is getting naughty once again. It's a great weekend. Alrighty. So sorry guys, in the text when I was welcoming you, you said things and I didn't see it. Let me see if I missed anything. I do see an Arthur. Pro, what did I miss? Why do you torture yourself? I don't know. Why'd you say my name, Pro? Okay, so let's get started with this. First of all, did everybody have a good week since our last chat?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Hmm.
Nothing out of the ordinary or terrible happened?
The only extraordinary thing to happen is Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yes.
Cool. What's his name? The friend of C. Mortjep.
Mortjep.
Yes. When Mortjep shows up, I see he is online. If he does show up, he missed his chance to mention his monsters in our last Monstercast. So when he
right.
shows up, I'd like to give him that chance once again. So remind me or something if I miss it. All right, guys, you know how this goes. Let's have a friendly or monstrous conversation. Anybody would
I
like
cut down a dead tree.
Sorry, Victor?
Well, Procrastitron said he wanted to speak first.
Oh, he did. Okay. Pro, would you like to start this off? I think it would be a good idea, actually,
Speak changeling.
considering his monster. All right, Pro. Throw it out. Or say it out. A moment for Pro. Gonna talk about a Godzilla enemy, he says. Can anybody guess? Let's see if we got any guesses. Come on. Shoot up some
The
guesses.
giant crab from Terror of the Deep.
We got giant crab. What else we got?
The giant
I do not
lobster,
remember the name.
Mothra,
Whatever the name of the giant spider is.
Oh god.
Arachnoid.
Sure.
Giant
Yeah.
spider, okay.
Spider.
Dande says, isn't there a mantis? Phonics also says spider. Yes,
God,
Dande, there is
Godzilla-
a giant mantis. There's many of them, actually.
Godzilla's enemies are all just like Spider-Man's enemies. I just realized this. They're all just
Really?
Who's Doc Ock then?
they're all just based off
Biolante, I
animals
think.
that have been souped up in some way.
Fair enough.
All right, Pro. Kumonga. Yeah, Kumonga.
Yes.
Kumongas are, I believe, the mantis-like ones that hatch the baby Godzilla? Or...
No, Kumonga's the giant spider.
Oh, yes. Okay, so the giant spider. The mantis ones, I forgot the name. I think it started with a K also or something. I'm not sure. Is that Shin? That looks like Shin. Shin Japan
that's Shin.
and US. So what do you guys, while we're waiting for Pro, let's hear just a quick response on Shin or US. Okay, we'll
US.
say Japan or US.
I mean,
Which one do you play?
at
Let's
earlier
talk about,
point in time,
okay,
I was
just the look. Okay, let's not dig too deep. Just the look. US Godzilla, the latest one, or Shin Godzilla
Yes.
from Japan?
US.
US, Chris says. What else we got?
Sorry, I'm just not a fan of ugly things.
Everybody else agree US? Anybody
Yeah,
else?
I'm gonna say US.
US over Shin. Okay.
As am I. The Shin one looks like a xenomorph got to it.
I don't like the arms. The arms look too spindly and weird.
I mean,
I don't
Although
like the
you've
face.
gotta love that chest on Shin though.
I think I like the movie more than the monster. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Giant mantis
I
was
suppose.
Kamakuras. Yep. Thought it started with a K. All right, Pro. So, where's your stuff? And if you have any pictures, if not, then I can drag some in. I should get that ready. Okay. Just making sure you're on it. Kamakuras. Sounds like a weapon.
Your 60 seconds starts now.
Arm yourself with your Kamakuras and prepare for battle. Let's see. I'd say both. I have to see the US one first, though. So, Dande, apparently you haven't seen the first US one of this series. Because it's going to be the same looking. Just hopefully some better CGI. By the way, guys, again, no spoilers, but how are the effects in CGI overall?
Ooh,
You have to see it to
lovely.
believe it, but those were amazing.
Amazing. Okay.
Monsters were easily the best part of the movie. All of them were just terrific. They looked
Excellent.
amazing. They acted amazingly, and on top of that, the monsters all of them had their own little personalities.
Beautiful. That's very good, actually, for this type of movie. So more monster drama
They
than human
actually
drama.
managed to bring in the fact that they have different personalities.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big
They
one.
did something.
Right.
I mean, I guess no.
Okay.
Is it really a spoiler?
So let's start this off.
Yes.
Insectoid monsters, Dead Orbit. Our friend Pro is talking about Batra, a dark counterpart of Mothra. Batra was created by the Earth itself 12,000 years ago after an ancient civilization created a climate-controlling device. Batra served his purpose and destroyed the device, but came to see all humanity as a blight on the planet and sought to exterminate the human race. Mothra took issue with this and fought Batra in a battle that caused the utter destruction of the ancient world, finally defeating and sealing him in the North Sea. In 1993, a meteor impacted the Earth and reawakened Batra, who continued his ancient crusade against humanity. Batra attacked Nagoya, and eventually challenged Godzilla himself to battle, only to vanish after falling into a volcanic fault. However, Batra soon resurfaced in his image form and traveled to Yokohama for a final clash with Mothra. When Godzilla arrived as well, Mothra and Batra decided to put aside their differences and fight against their common foe. Mothra and Batra successfully defeated Godzilla, but at the cost of Batra's life. Batra's only film appearance to date came in 1992's Godzilla vs. Mothra, though he or she has made appearances in official non-film media such as video games and comic books. Thanks for that ending sentence there, Pro, telling us where we have seen this monster. Yeah, cool. Okay, so what are your guys' thoughts? I know there's a lot of fans of Mothra because they developed a strong lore behind Mothra. I haven't heard this lore. It's interesting. How about it? Any fans here? Any thoughts?
It's kind of.
Fluffy.
I remember it being kind of a Mothra 2 movie. I think. A follow-up to Mothra. I mean, and suddenly Godzilla because Godzilla.
Mothra is
right.
still best waifu.
I mean, if you want to fuck a bug, be my guest.
I've seen pretty fine Rule 34 art of her.
You just had to state that to the internet.
Yes.
Oh my.
Oh, that's
Would
not
you like
Why
surprising.
did
me
you
to
have
also state? Would you also like for me to state what I said in our private chat, Z, with the other Smaug and
You really do know how to make people shut up, don't you?
So here is Batra in
It's
the
his special.
larval state.
But yeah, basically, per the canon of the Godzilla movies, Mothra is basically the 5,000-year-old lolly of the kaiju world in that cinematic universe.
5,000-year-old lolly. What do you mean by that?
More likely about a bunch of several million-year-old lolly.
Mm-hmm.
He might want. I think uh, Arthur wants you to explain what you mean.
He wants
I
you
bet
to explain how she's a lolly.
Okay, what is a lolly? Let's get that out.
you don't want
Wait,
to
do
know.
you actually not know what a lolly is, or are you doing this for the sake of the viewers?
I might not know.
Oh god.
Sake of
You
sanity,
Okay, so
then.
is it something perverse? What is it?
Okay, somebody spam a bunch of lolly pictures at him.
No.
Please don't.
I could do
No.
this without burning people's irises. Basically, a lolly is someone's depiction of a underage child that they find attractive.
No, it's
Okay.
a lolly specifically
Oh, okay.
is a character, a female character who usually looks like a child, but they're not necessarily a child. Like there's a bunch of
Okay.
characters in animes and stuff that are considered
Right.
lollies because
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Basically,
persons
your
that look
average
underage
petite.
because of the style of the art or animation or whatever.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Did I really need to know that?
Probably.
I'm
You
kinda
asked-
glad I
you
didn't know
asked-
that.
Your fault.
I'm
I
thinking.
told
Yep.
you that you didn't need to.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Thanks for the
Well,
heads up.
you asked, and if you didn't really want to know, you should not ask.
All right. So anyway, as far as this creature, what are the special abilities of it other than flying and being huge? No answers. You guys know what a lolly is, but you know nothing about Batara. How do you feel about yourselves? No answer.
No different.
6, 9. We got 10 people today. Awesome. Let's see over on
To be
YouTube.
100% honest, I don't know too much about the goddamn films.
Well, there are a lot of them. All right, let's see what Pro says here. Has all Mothra's powers. Okay. So it shoots the silk. Doesn't Mothra shoot like silk? Tons of silk.
Mothra
Yes.
shoots silk, Mothra
Energies.
shoots lasers, Mothra can do a kamikaze.
Okay. They all shoot something.
I mean, wasn't Mothra having what's it called? A variation of what's it called? Things over the years.
So, what do you guys prefer? I see we don't have too many crazy fans of this or Mothra.
I
Over
love Mothra.
you vote
I'm a
Mothra.
fan of Mothra.
Okay.
I'm not greatly familiar with the Godzilla universe anymore.
Okay. Anymore.
I have lost a lot of my knowledge to the unfortunate loss of knowledge over time.
Right. Unfortunately, more time important things have entered your brain, and the lesser ones left.
Like D&D.
Basically, you're hitting real life. Okay. Anybody prefer Batra for any reason? Any fans of Batra?
Nope.
Okay.
That road does look cool, but don't take the evil.
All right. If I were to compare them, aesthetically, I like what's going on with Batra, but I know that Batra has arisen largely from the fame of Mothra, and there's a reason behind that fame. So it looks cool. It's not quite a moth, if you look at the face, It is a side-opening pincer type mouth, so it is still insectoid, unlike some of the other body parts seem to appear. I believe they're about the same size, correct? It seems so. Let's find an image of a versus. Versus Mothra. Okay. And no, I'm not gonna ask this. I want to get back into near spoiler chat. So here's an image of them kind of side by side. Somewhat. So they are near similar size. That's that. Let's see if this is going to be our biggest insectoid monster of the day. Or night. Or whatever the hell it is. Alright. Let's continue. Thank you, Pro, for that. Who would like to go next? Please let me know.
Me.
Mothra is thicker. Overall larger.
I gotta think.
As
Okay, we got some thinking. You guys in the text, if you have something, let me know. I'll read it out.
Right.
sir,
Yes, sir.
would you agree that the xenomorphs could count, seeing as they are referred to as bugs?
Did you say
Entirety
xenomorphs?
of their lives. Yes,
Um,
they have an exoskeleton.
Sure, since they are as ambiguous as they are, I think we can add them in, for sure. We can include them. Okay, so do you want to go next, Victor?
Sure, and then Bog can Cobalt.
Oh, okay, Victor, before you get started, let's have a test run with you, because you seem to be cutting out a lot, so I want to make sure we can
Well,
understand.
I am not hooked up to Wi-Fi,
Okay.
Oof.
and there are some dead zones in this.
Okay, you're sounding all right now. Okay, so let's hear it. Let's hear your insectoid monster.
Well, the xenomorphs come in all different types, depending on they spawn from.
Mm-hmm.
So, on all, the entirety of the xenomorph race,
Sure.
they're pretty much extremophiles, or
Do you have a favorite on
would
mind?
that even be?
Do you have a favorite in mind?
Oh, I have to say the Queen. Or the Empress, which is larger than the Queen. But then again, there's always the Mother, the biggest of them all. And I recently heard about the Queen Mother. The largest xenomorph of all of them that can uh,
Not hearing everything
Yeah.
too clearly here.
You're cutting up a wee bit, Victor.
I tend to walk around whenever I talk. But yes, the Queen Mother is the one that I like the most. Large,
Okay.
and it's able to not only spawn more eggs, it can, if I'm not mistaken, just send a face hugger or plant the embryo in a host directly.
Darth Vonic says Mantis Xenomorph. As far as his favorite. I think you guys know mine since I did do a video on that. As far as aesthetics, so Victor, because of the toy line, particularly first Kenner and now NECA, they released the various crazy versions of the xenomorphs, and they did the insectoid or buggish type ones mostly. The other ones we might see in games and such, but not in movies. Did you own any of those toys, Victor, when you were younger?
No. And if we're going off of the movies, then I'd say the Predalien is my favorite.
Predalien. Okay, cool.
The Predalien. Okay.
How about you guys?
Yeah.
Let's hear your guys'
I had
2
issues
cents.
with the Predalien.
You go with the Predalien as well?
At least the film adaptation. I had issues with that one.
Let's just say the main reason I'm not that big of a fan of the Predalien, not because it exists or how it became a thing, the Requiem just went a little bit too edgy for my taste. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Right. But that's But that's the movie, right? Not Predalien itself. Or are you linking them pretty closely together because of lore?
The Predalien specifically did all of the 3 edgy 5 me stuff in the movie.
Gotcha. Okay. There is also the Predalien of the video game. I believe it's called in there the Abomination, and it's basically another version of a Predalien. You guys aware of that one?
A favorite xenomorph, I'd have to go with, I think in the Alien vs. Predator expanded comic book universe, there is one that's like an android xenomorph. He speaks in a British accent, and he's a pretty dope guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember something like that.
To be fair, my favorite Predaliens specifically, was who here has actually seen or heard or played the game Alien vs. Predator Extinction?
Not me.
I didn't get too far in that.
Well, Space Godzilla says he has. I think
Nice.
he is, anyway. But, yeah, the Predalien in that couldn't actually impregnate people like it did in the film, which is why that triggers me. I don't know why the Predalien in the film can impregnate people. It's not a queen at the end of the day.
The thing that triggered me was who it was impregnating.
True. That
Specifically the scene in the
also.
hospital.
Yeah, that was also rather disturbing.
3 edgy 5 me.
Yeah. But no, the Predaliens in the game, Alien vs. Predator Extinction, the more people they killed, the stronger they got. Also, like, mimicking the Yautja. The more beings and the longer they live, the greater things they killed, generally the stronger they got. So by the end of a battle, seeing as this game was a top-down, not top-down shooter, top-down strategy game, at the end of a battle, you could have one Predalien that was an absolute god. Like, the thing couldn't be killed. It had, like, regenerating health. It had just shy amount of health as a Praetorian, which was just a step below Queen. So yeah, like, a Predalien was beast if you could keep one alive. But yeah, continuing on.
Forgot which game, but this is the Predalien that I mentioned from the game.
Yeah, that's the one.
So it is. Okay, for that one. What do you guys think of aesthetically, or, yeah, just how it looks? Do you prefer the ones from the movies? I'll post that one too. Or this one from the video game? Which one do you think is more correct, do you think, if we put those together? Predator.
The best Predalien is the same as the best Xenomorph, hung on a wall. Yautja for life.
So here is the image from the movie one. Yeah, what do you guys think? Any preferences on the two?
They basically look the same.
Except, like, you can see that the film version is a dude in a suit.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's
Well,
more
to
akin
be
to a
fair,
predator
you
too.
could tell.
The other one's
Well,
more
to
akin
be
to a
fair, you
xenomorph.
could tell the original alien monster was a dude in a suit.
But yet they played it off so well with camera work that it was difficult to see it at all times. If you stopped and freeze framed at certain points, you could.
Okay, Smug, are you realizing what you're doing right now? You are trying to compare Alien versus Predator Requiem to the masterpiece that is Alien.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the fact that that is a masterpiece, whereas Requiem is
Right. Well, it's still a fair
It's better
comparison.
than
Consider
Requiem is better than the Predator.
considering there's a over 20-year difference. So no, like over 30-year difference, I think. So I think it's fair to start comparing, even though it's because it's still a high budget. It's just a shittier movie. Alrighty. Well, guys, shout out to any other xenomorphs you like out there if you feel the need. Welcome, Dr. Doom, over in on the YouTube chat.
Hello, Victor.
Hello there.
We have just restarted the Monstercast.
Wow.
All right, Victor. So, anything you want to add to your Insectoid monster for today?
Pardon? You cut out there.
Is there anything else that you would like to add to your monster today?
Not really.
Okay.
What about the red xenomorphs?
Oh, the reds, those are unpredictable.
And you cut out, Victor.
Don't know much about.
Okay. Okay, as far as our little team here, I would like to know who is here who considers themselves pretty versed in Alien. Let's talk about specifically Alien lore, xenomorph lore.
Well, to call myself an expert would be a no estimation of my ability, but I've only seen the movies.
Okay, so you know the movies well. Anybody else here that like actually got into the comics a lot and really follows the lore?
I tried, but it's not really that.
I mostly follow it from the Predator's
I want
point
to get back into
for
it.
obvious reasons.
I know different facts and stuff, but I don't have a just overarching knowledge.
Okay.
Like, I know that there's an android that is half xenomorph queen.
Yeah, let's look that. Let me try to see if I can quickly find that one. I'll just Google android xenomorph.
Oh, that'll bring up a completely different creature.
Different one. I see. Alrighty.
Yeah,
Okay, well, let me list off a few insectoid. Xenomorphs are already insectoid, somewhat. We kind of determined that to include them today. But let's talk about more insectoid as far as the ones that are based off of insects, which, again, we see mostly just in the toys. Where we have... Okay, so we have the mantis xenomorph. We have the spider xenomorph. Wait, do we have a spider xenomorph?
I hope not.
Let's
It's
Google
basically just a face hugger.
that. Right. There's concept art for sure, but arachnoid. Yes, there's an arachnid xenomorph. I believe there's a scorpion xenomorph. There is a fly xenomorph. And I remember when I made the video... let me see if it's a fly or wasp. I remember when I was making the video of all the types of xenomorphs, that's where it was getting to the ridiculous point, because people always wonder what can they finally impregnate. Well, there's a fly xenomorph, so that answers that as far as the kooky lore.
How the fly survived being impregnated, I have no fucking idea.
I mean, you don't have to think too hard about it. It's one of those things that hurt the more you think about it.
I guess the point of spores, but hey.
Yeah, that's what people always have to also consider is the face huggers aren't the only way to create this. They can be lab created. They can be created from the goo or spores or other things. So
Okay, how was the fly xenomorph created?
I don't know that one exactly, but that's what I'm saying is we can go about different ways making these forms, except that's not what the comic book probably did because the comic book didn't say anything, right?
It just says,
And
as,
fun
hey, fly
fact,
xenomorph.
there used to be a race of more, what's the civilized xenomorphs that actually had buildings and stuff on at least one planet.
I don't know.
They were determined to have probably been some sort of subspecies, and even had some sort of worship that they.
The xenomorphs that were in that one colony were pretty dope, I suppose. So it's
Yeah,
on one
that's
planet
all I
there,
got.
they had a colony full of people who suffered from leprosy, and they were all, because of that, they were all sent out into the location where the xenomorphs on the planet were being held away from the normal populace. But because of their leprosy, the people that were the embryos that were put into them were all came out weren't able to properly develop. So they what's his face? So they weren't able to actually birth. Instead, the people with leprosy and xenomorph babies inside of them just walked around, and the other xenomorphs didn't touch them because, well, they have xenomorph babies in them.
Alrighty. Pro posted one of my little favorites, just because it's the one of the most different xenomorphs out there, and it's the one he posted right here. I'll click on it too. It's the the dark alien, I believe, and it's basically off of a demon. This goblinoid, small kind of demon, got impregnated, I believe, and it created this odd-looking xenomorph with not that usual face structure. So, yeah, kind
Almost
of a
looks
little
Japanese.
weird guy. And here is the one I was mentioning. This is actually they're called swarm xenomorph. Load. Xenomorph dog. What is that? Is that an outfit? Or just a plush? Load, you bastard.
Sorry, Arthur, my Discord broke.
Yeah, what the hell? It's not loading from here either. I'll load a smaller image then. Let's see if this one goes. Okay, there you go. It's nothing epic anyway, so. The Swarm Xenomorph, ladies and gentlemen. So, as far as other ones, I forgot. I think there's a Scorpion one as well, and things like that. Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Victor, for sharing. Let's go to the next Monsterite. Anybody want to speak up?
I'm not sure I don't know that many insect monsters. I'd like to talk about Mothra, but I know jack shit about her, so I'm gonna need some time to think of something better.
Okay, so for now you're shouting out Mothra.
Yes.
Cool, okay. Let's get a beautiful image of Mothra. Do you guys know the lore behind Mothra much? The lore with the twin little girls, fairy girls?
Well, I remember my first encounter with this kaiju. It's a very interesting one because it was a German movie that apparently dubbed over the Japanese one, and I understood absolutely nothing in the first place, and I understood even less when these two tiny twins flew around on a butterfly. So,
Wait, it was a
And
German knockoff movie?
I think so. I mean, it
Really?
definitely had something, a giant monster that I now recognize as Godzilla, and Mothra
Huh.
was covered in barnacles for some reason.
If you could ever find the title of that movie,
I don't know. I've been looking for it. I'm not even sure if it's a monster movie. No, rather a Godzilla movie.
I wonder if it was an actual Godzilla or Mothra movie that was redubbed and then redubbed.
Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's
Hmm.
German. Germans like you redubbing things. No offense to any German people.
Yeah,
Just
we gotta redub. Gotta redub. All right. Do you guys have any favorite versions of Mothra? Because
The one in King of Monsters. She looks
Okay.
adorable.
Let me see. Now, also, what I meant by versions is because Mothra changed over time, was reborn, I think, or metamorphosized. Not sure if you guys are aware of that. I think this is the latest like form of Mothra. I'm not, but then again, I'm not sure, and this is a shame that I don't know, but I'm not sure if it's even the same entity or if it's another Mothra. But I believe this is like the latest
She's
one.
reborn because she's an undying goddess.
Okay. All right, cool. I was afraid I'd messed that up. Let's see. It's all right, Dio. Just don't redub us. Nice little image there. And there's Dande being held up by a xenomorph. All right. Well, shout out to Mothra. We don't have enough knowledge here to go into depth on that. Welcome, Raincrawler, over in the text on YouTube. Xeno look like a Japanese Oni. Hello, everyone. So, Raincrawler and Dr. Doom, if you guys have a monster you'd like to shout out for today's topic, you're welcome to. Insectoid monsters. All right. How about you, C? Do you have anything you'd like to mention today?
well, I didn't mention that one crustacean part that I wanted to talk about. I mean,
Yes, let's hear
I
it.
guess it's kind of insectoid. I mean, we have scorpions, we have all those kind of things that aren't actually insects, but some kind of
Sure.
other kind of nightmare. Well, the thing is that I keep bringing this creature up because it's freaking horrifying. I'm of course talking about the coconut crab, the ever lovely, probably one of the largest, most massive crustaceans we have on the planet.
Nice.
Probably. I'm not saying. I mean, I think there's some spider crabs that get larger.
Jesus.
For
the
its second...
king crab in the Japanese sea or Chinese sea, I think, is the biggest crustacean on the planet.
Yes, I think
So here's the coconut crab. For its second time around on a Monstercast.
it's the same picture, just mirrored,
And yes, there we have that spider crab.
I mean,
which one
these
freaks you out
creatures-
more? Is see which
Probably
which
the spider crab because
sure.
I mean it looks flimsy, but I think I can defeat
But
it
has
if I get a big
superpowers.
stick. I mean, like, yeah.
Alrighty.
I mean, the coconut crab, however, is the kind of thing that I don't even want near being on the same continent as. It looks like the kind of thing that could open a can if it looked wrong at it.
Yeah, it's kind of the case of I want to take a sledgehammer at it, but I'm fearful of the sledgehammer breaking.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, these creatures are decapods, if I remember correctly. They have 10 limbs. But it's kind of a weird thing because these creatures are supposed to be rather, well, they're not supposed to be dangerous to humans, But
Right.
they still freak me out.
I would
And
absolutely
yes,
love.
I agree. I agree with Procrastitron. The coconut crab looks kind of like a face hugger.
Face hugger a little. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even bigger. I would
And
absolutely
because
love
everyone is
to own
agreeing
one of
that we
these.
need something adorable today, I think we should bring mention to an honorable mention of a monster. Not an animal. I mean, I love these hermit crabs. Hermit crabs are adorable.
Hermit crabs are fun. Various species of
I
them.
want to hit it with a sledgehammer.
Have you guys? Do you know what their body looks like out when not in the shell?
I mean,
Oh,
it looks
God.
really
Oh.
freaky, but it looks.
Oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
It looks like a little dark-colored kind of hot dog.
Little hot dog.
Yes, and
So I'm gonna be 100% honest. I genuinely have a fear of crustaceans and spiders. The two things in this world I actually fear.
Spiders,
Another
I get
one.
why crustaceans though.
But crustaceans? What have crustaceans done to be feared?
You guys that have the fear with it, you just need more experience with them.
I guess.
That's all. Yeah, I'd absolutely love to own one of these large crabs. That would be amazing to have one as a pet. I'd love to learn more, particularly...
Until they pinch one of your fingers off.
What's that? I'd love to learn more about particularly the spider crab. I think that's a very fascinating animal because of its
really is.
size and just how long its pincer arms are.
Two something meters, so about
Mhm.
8 feet.
So if you look at this
I mean-
picture, I mean, it has to feed itself. And it doesn't have any, like, smaller... Like, it would make more sense through adaptation.
Adaptability.
That it would have smaller arms as well, closer to its face, like a lot of insects do, that kind of quickly grasp things and shove it in the mouth. But all it has are these really long arms that do it. Imagine how annoying it is to grab something and pull it all the way back and forth with these really long arms. It's got to have quite the muscle in there as well.
I guess you could kind of explain
I hate
that
when
as the
my
same way-
arms are too long to do something properly.
I guess you could kind of explain that the same way as... I'm using dinosaurs as a weird little offshoot, but like the larger a dinosaur got, just generally the slower it moved and the slower its metabolism was.
Mm-hmm. There's another
Yeah.
example. Let me see where it is. I forgot what it's called. I wouldn't say these are like flaws of nature or adaptation, but they're definitely not the best versions that nature could create. There's a great little channel I just found recently. I think Gargamel pointed me to that. He posted a video from there. It's a guy that does analysis videos on animals and all kinds of wildlife and such on our planet, but he does it from a perspective that they're video game creatures.
Oh,
So-
Tiasu.
Yeah.
Tiasu, too.
It's a really
Tears.
great idea. He
He's
grew incredibly fast as a channel, and he's just sticking to that. And he's talking about like the better like designs of creatures, but it's all in that fashion that they're created by humans, but they're not, right?
I mean, there's a meta.
So yeah, taking this crab for instance, you could see the faults. They're not really faults, but what things could be improved. And having such long arms, slow, and that's such a crappy little disadvantage that could be improved so easily through nature.
Did you say
if-
crabby?
through at least one more smaller pair of something that just shoves stuff in its mouth.
Now, you must
another
understand, there's a common misconception about evolution. Evolution does not produce the best.
Indeed.
It produces what makes it. And
That's
that
right.
doesn't mean...
That's a
I
very
mean,
good
without
point.
competition, there won't be anything that improves. So if this makes it work,
Mhm.
this kind of mutation will persist despite it serving no function.
Right. Indeed. In its environment, it served the function and it survived. And that's a
To
very
be
good point
fair,
that people forget.
The crab could just be able to see the benefit I can see in having these very long limbs is that its main body, which is kind of big, is put very far away, so prey that swims around can't really see it, and out of the nowhere it just snaps it from like a mile away, 2 meters with its claw, and that's how it's able to because it lives in pretty dark places. So the more of you there is
True.
to see, the people are going to keep their distance. So if you catch them at a distance, you can then bring them into Nom.
Right, and that's why I was wondering how exactly it lives. That's why I want to learn more about it, because that's interesting. If it is indeed that good at using its body parts, then
Who's that?
that's a great advantage. Like it can hide these things, and suddenly it pops out here. Here it's, if it's intelligent enough to be able to maneuver these long arms, I mean, it can definitely be an interesting advantage. I mean, imagine how far
ever
one
seen
arm
the
is
doc-
from the other arm, and it can use one arm to kind of scurry or scare a fish in one direction and, use the other arm. It's just I
that's why its pincers are
imagine them
also
kind of
so tiny.
sluggish and slow.
I mean, there is one significant disadvantage with having such long limbs. They're crustaceans. They shed the shell every now and then.
They shit the shell.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Stay out of my shed.
Oh god dang.
You had a tiny seizure. It's all good. Welcome, MILF, by the way. Mimi.
Nice.
I was confused for a moment. I thought you were talking to me, and I was like, what?
No.
Z, no matter how much you want, you are not a MILF, and you will never be a MILF.
Thank God for that.
I don't know. Technology's... Okay, never mind. So, Cav J just joined us, also on YouTube. Welcome, Cav J. Speaking of Godzilla, he said, Arthur, any chance of a review of the new Godzilla movie? I'll see. That's generally not what I do unless something particularly sparks in my head.
Well, that's the thing. You might say that now, but in all due honesty, you are really you should. It's the king of monsters. We are a monster.
That's a good point.
No.
I mean, I think the last time I did a live stream review, that was a really long one of Covenant. So yeah, if you guys want it, I'll do it. Whatever, my opinion matters. But if you just want to get more Godzilla and more hearing about the new Godzilla, then I definitely understand your fancy there. So we'll see. We'll see if I do a review. If you do see that even listed in my videos, then you'll know something hit me about that movie. And I'm going to assume now it's probably going to be something good if it does happen. If not, then it was all right.
By the way, Arthur, side note, now that I have seen this movie, I can calmly start getting to work on that thing you requested.
Okay, cool. And yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, you can let me know anytime, and yeah, if you have time for other stuff too. So we are talking here secretly about a manipulation of Z's biology. So
What?
nothing. Oh yes, the picture I wanted to post on the matter of, hey, these things created by evolution don't seem that amazing, or well, okay, just look at this one. It's called I forgot, a giraffe-necked
Giraffe
beetle or giraffe beetle.
That's my guess.
Yes. It's a weevil. Oh, I love weevils. If you guys know weevils, I don't know. Shout out. Kudos to you.
I'm not exactly educated in the terminology of insects.
I'm a fan of
That's why
weevils.
that green guy with the insects from Yu-Gi-Oh was called Weevil, because weevils are a type of bug.
Well, weevils, so we have beetles, right? And weevils are a kind of beetle, but what they have distinctly is they have a face that is more elongated and tubey, like a tube. A good example, a funny example, would be Gonzo. If you guys know Gonzo from Sesame Street, he is basically a weevil. If you ever wondered what Gonzo is, he is a weevil.
I never knew that.
You've heard it here. Maybe I should do a video on that, actually, or for Silliest Monsters episode. So that's what weevils are. They're types of beetles with an elongated face used to kind of burrow into harder type fruits and berries, developing flowers and such. And here's Gonzo, and he's a weevil. So anyway, if you look at this giraffe weevil, just look at that adaptation. Look at what kind of hell it has to put up with, if you want to think of it that way. Obviously, it doesn't. But look at that neck structure. It's like a one-jointed neck. It's just what you would imagine if you see an artist create something like this. You would just say, that's a bad design. That's a bad monster design for a movie, right? But like C said, evolution isn't on the side of necessarily what is the best, but what
It is on what does the job.
what survives the most. Here's another weevil example. So
I can
anyway,
only imagine I can only imagine if like Godzilla was to fight it, it'd literally just end with him stretching out his arm, grabbing it by the neck, and crushing, like
Right.
snapping the entire neck.
How about that insect dealing with other insects? I mean, imagine it walking into a spider web. You know, a
God,
beetle's at least short enough to kind of maybe pull through it. This guy's going to have his whole neck caught up in it. So,
Yeah, that does not sound nice.
so I guess my final thought on that matter of evolution that I wanted to mention is next time when you're looking at our society and our world of humans, that world of monsters, and you're thinking of evolution,
That monster.
just
That
remember
monstrous world.
the ones that we're breeding, and we keep seeing certain kind of personalities and persons in our society. Well, it is because of evolution, but it's not because of the best. It's because of what makes it. So just keep that in mind if you feel depressed sometimes and think maybe, or even think you're not worthy. Maybe you're more worthy than you think. Okay.
Maybe more wormy than you think.
More wormy worthy than you think. Oh, goodness. I love these chats. All right. Well, thank you, C, for the crabs. Oh, I mean, I'm
Yes,
outta
I
here.
get you.
Okay, so thank you, C. Let's go up the list a little bit. Mimi, you're over here about the subject, but the other day we thought up a new kaiju. Oh, yeah, I heard you guys were creating a new kaiju. Was it the Bat Kaiju? Not sure, Mimi. She's talking about something that's been going on here in the Monsterhood. By the way, Mimi, if you want to take your turn, you can talk to us about a insectoid type monster if you would like to
I've
shout one out.
decided on what I'll be talking about if whenever possible.
Oh, okie dokie. Let's go up the list next then. Hold on, what's going on here? Okay, it got deleted, that's why. Let's check our chat over here real quick. Raincrawler, good point. That is why crocodiles didn't change that much. Very educative program today.
The design
Indeed.
works. Nature
Indeed.
does not change something that doesn't. I mean, nature changes things, but it doesn't allow for mistakes.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly, and
Basically.
crocodiles are an excellent example of this. Sometimes when I just observe crocodiles or imagine, even when I was young, I'd imagine being a crocodile a lot. And
Same.
I
Right.
wish I could just lie by the riverside and just enjoy life.
Well, come
sleep
on,
most
it's
of the
one of
year
the-
and only eat once.
it's one of the
Every week.
funnest creatures to imagine being when you go swimming or when you're at the beach. You know, just getting into the water as a crocodile, that is such a satisfying feeling. Just imagine that feeling.
I imagined myself becoming crocodile regardless of how, just because I love the color green and I associate them with the color green.
I thought you were a rat, Chris.
This was back in my youth when I was more reptile oriented.
Nice.
Before
far
that,
as-
when I was like 4 or 5, I wanted to turn into an elephant. I don't know why. It's
Oh.
horrible.
Probably just because you want it to be big.
Then I swapped to crocodiles, and now I'm a rat.
It just went downhill or uphill. Who knows? Because rats
I mean,
are
an
going through
elephant
evolution
is
very
from the-
beautifully.
Progressively smaller, but progressively more terrifying.
Hmm.
Oh, you can chew through steel.
Also, procrastitron, no. Bad.
I have to give
Babs you with a
crocodiles a
newspaper.
shout out for the scary look. Okay, so back on topic. Where were we with the topic? Ah, yes, that evolution part aspect. Yeah, and that is fascinating. And with crocodiles, you see it again, but they're so successful in what they have done so far. Sharks, you can't really say that. Sharks just look like a xenomorph. They look like perfection in water, almost sometimes, right?
I mean, in water, there are a few other things that count in, of course. To have a creature in,
For sure.
in a world of water, it's not that simple. It's
Very true.
complex. I mean, like all things are, but water specifically involves a lot different rules than on ground. For very
Yes.
obvious reasons, because it's entirely different environment.
Indeed, indeed.
Like, for example, fuck gravity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, gravity is equal part, because if a creature from the water gets onto land, it kind of is going to blob and collapse and die very
Yeah, but
easily.
that's why they don't go into land. They're only in the water, where you can just say "fuck gravity."
Ooh, let's
Yeah,
go
let me.
to Mimi's post there a little higher. She brought
Okay,
up a
after
great
that,
one.
may I post my thing?
Oh, yeah, I was just yep, definitely. Um, but she took it off. Where is that, Mimi? If you come, there you go. Thank you. Meet the sea scorpion. I love this one. Just because for what the hell it is. Meet the sea scorpion, what I refer to as a nope. Fuck that shit. Down here. So yeah, I believe these would be about 7 feet long.
You got to
Crustaceans.
Scorpius, wasn't that about 3 meters? I mean, I'm metric. I'm sorry.
No,
Um,
the sea scorpions are about the size of 7 feet. I am 7 feet. No, wait.
no.
7 feet is about
That's a basketball player.
7 feet is about 2 meters and
Mm-hmm.
20 centimeters, something about that.
Right. I'm gonna double check. I know it's at least 7. I want to see if it can make it to 3 meters though. That
Oh
would
no,
be.
no, it's 2 meters something.
It is 2 meters. Okay. So yeah, around 7 feet tall, long. Again, to me, it's not that frightening because I know the behavior of crustaceans and such. Of course, it would suck having its pincers get your finger. I'm sure those ones would chop off something.
If it's 7 meters long, I'd say no. That's not
7
going to
feet.
be a finger.
No,
That's
7
gonna be
feet.
That's going to be a toe.
7 feet.
Or
That's
a
gonna
foot.
be a tiny bit more than just your finger that's going to come off there.
I'm getting a picture of a size comparison for you guys. Another pet I would simply love to have. If you guys have or are looking for a pet but you don't have the time, money, but you want something just interesting. I spent a lot of time with different animals when I was young, just observing and things like that and catching. But snails and crustaceans are actually really fun to keep because of their behaviors of survival, what they eat. Like, for example, if you have not hermit crabs, but for example, fiddler crabs, just little crabs, or snails, what they will eat is anything organic. And that's just, I love little cleanup crews of nature like that. So you can drop in a dead fish, you can drop in some leftovers from food. Just don't drop a lot because it's in the water environment, so it's not going to filter out well, right? But anything you drop in there, these things are going to feed on. And I don't know, I just love that. If one of them dies, the rest will feed on that, you know? So
Nature.
just a cool pet
Nature finds
shout
a
out,
way.
I think. A cool pet shout out for anybody in the world, really.
It was actually
See,
during my.
what you mean to say is life finds a way.
Oh, stop
Absolutely,
it, Chris.
beautifully.
Come on, that joke is it's almost as old as I am.
And the secret of why
65
I
million
want
years.
a 7-foot crustacean is because then all the corpses that I have of people I don't like, I throw in there and completely, even the bones disappear with a crustacean this big.
Well, actually, no, you're wrong, because wasn't too long ago I actually took a trip out to America, and just on the off chance I was in Washington D.C. and I toured the museums, and I went to the Natural History Museum, and as part of one of the exhibits, they were actually doing a part on like the bottom of the ocean, and they were saying in part of the exhibit was that after an animal has died, as it is dropping through the multiple layers of the deep seas, it will get eaten, but there are only certain depths that some creatures can handle. But right down at the bottom, like where there is no light, there are thousands and millions of crustaceans that will literally feast, swarm the thing, and within around about a week, an entire corpse of an entire blue whale will be eaten.
Yes, there was
Oh,
that
for sure.
documentary from the BBC that covered that.
Stuff gets
Oh yeah,
cleaned out in the
toothless
oceans.
eels.
The things like
Worms.
that get cleaned out in the oceans quicker than on land.
There's also those damn weird worm things that when you poke them, they excrete goop, like goo, into the water. That's how they suffocate sharks.
Oh, when you grab them, they just sort of
Mhm.
splooge.
Yes.
And thank you, Son of Smog, for breaking the silence there after I said that. We needed that.
No problem.
By the way,
The
where are
worms
you
that preen
located?
themselves.
I'm from Wales.
Oh, you're in Wales. Great. So you live in a whale. All right.
Oh, god damn it. I
Um,
don't live in a whale.
well, then you're
No,
not
he
as
just
cool
lives
anymore.
he just lives with a lot of sheep.
That I do.
Aw,
I even have my trusty sheepdog right next to me.
very cool. You have one of the best
And
flags on our planet.
at an unpleasant amount of distance next to, near my ex,
Oh boy.
which makes me sad.
Yeah. Okay, so on that matter, Mimi mentioned the other one, actually. Mimi, this one is a prehistoric one as well, but you mentioned another one which actually has a stinger. Take a look at this fossil, guys. If you notice, the foreclaws are different. It doesn't have the kind of pincers, but it does have a stinger. Now
Oh,
that's
fuck that. Oh,
That's
fuck
freaky.
That. Fuck all of that.
look at go back up to the comparison with the human. Look at the size of the pincer. Look how perfectly that could grasp your neck. So perfectly.
Uncomfortable, that is.
I'd love to just hang on to its back legs and let it just swim along, and I would hang off the back, just like on a dolphin. Look at the size of those eyes, too. Imagine what it could pick up. That's a pretty interesting matter, actually. Eye size with prehistoric creatures. As the non-exoskeleton ones didn't have really large size, nothing larger much than today's creatures. But the insects did. They were just larger as a whole, so I wonder how that vision was different. That's fascinating.
Which one was you talking about?
Just the one we've been talking about, going up at that image. Here's another image of that one, of this other one with the actual spine.
Okay, that actually looks like derpy cute. Like a derpy version of cute.
See, and
It can
like
still
we
sting
were
you.
talking with adaptation, if you look at under its mouth parts, it has several of these limbs that help gather food at a closer distance. Something, again, the
But that's
spider
because
crab
it is
could
a
really
scavenger.
use.
That's because it is a scavenger that just walks around the bottom. The spider crab is an ambush predator.
It is, but it's also a scavenger. All crabs are scavengers. So,
Yeah, but it doesn't need to scavenge all the time.
right.
And besides, it's long-lived and it's giant. Almost, pretty much, we are one of the very few things that actually bother the giant spider crab. So it has
Right.
all the time in the world, basically.
What is this? Okay, I don't think this is right. Alrighty. So that's our shout out once again to more crustaceans and large crustaceans. These are some of the largest crustaceans that we know of to ever roam Earth. So shout out to crustaceans, you rock. Okay, let's pass it on to Chris.
Okay. So it took me a while because I don't know that many, that many insectoid monsters, because insects are not really my thing. But I just remembered that I can always rely on anime to assist with this. And so today I'll be talking about two particular monsters that you could also call individuals from the anime Overlord.
Oh no.
Okay, to begin with, we'll begin with Miss Antoma Vasilisa Zeta, who is an entomancer, where she basically uses insects as a form of. She can manipulate insects to her will, where
Nice.
so she can command all manner of insects to use for all manner of stuff. For example, blade bugs as swords, or very hard carapaced bugs as shields, bullet bugs that shoot out of her sleeves and nonsense, and of course she likes to eat meat. created to be one of the maids that serve the lordship of the Great Tomb of Nazarick.
I just noticed now that's not hair, those are legs.
Yes.
Yes, those are legs. And here is an example of blade bug and hard armor bug that she uses. And before you mistake it, that pretty little expression that you are seeing is not actually her face. That is, in fact, a bug that just has a specific phenotype of human face drawn onto it, or it has evolved it, fitting the
Nice.
fancy of her creator. And also, she may sound like a adorable little girl, but that's not her real voice. She has this kind of parasitic worm bug that burrows into the throat of a victim, eats out their vocal cords, and can mimic their voice. And she has one of those stuck in her throat to produce her speech. And so you might be wondering if that there is a bug mask on her face, what does she look like for real? Here you go.
So how does that humanoid-looking distraction? How does it move aside to reveal this?
The bug just dies and drops from her face. And when she goes into full, her true form,
Uh-huh.
she has four giant spider legs come out of her back. You can see in the second image.
Okay, so the humanoid face is just like a mask. It falls off.
The humanoid face is a bug that is permanently attached to her
Oh,
face.
it's another
And
bug.
yes, and the eyes and mouth is just the coloration of the bug.
Oh,
I see. So it's a
Basically,
at
collaboration.
this point we might as well talk about Oogie Boogie
No,
from Nightmare Before Christmas.
That is cool.
I
So it's a
suppose-
collaboration between two beings.
Oh no, she
Multiple.
no many bugs, and she controls them because she is
Oh,
like
okay.
her magic type is to she's an entomancer, someone who controls insects
Right.
and uses them as either weapons, disguises, or other types of things.
Okay, I'm liking her more and more, Chris. You're doing a good job here.
Thank you.
I like this
And
twist
she is a
of
good maid. She does her
pace.
service diligently. Also, let me see if I can find her stat sheet.
If you can
Because
show
she
us like
Also thoroughly enjoys eating people.
her base
yes.
form, like where she is, because she's composed of multiple.
Well, I showed you the one where she looks like a giant eight-eyed monster thing.
Okay.
That is her true form.
And those legs are that. So that's her
Yeah,
whole
coming
body,
from-
right? That would be.
That is correct.
Okay.
And this is
Gotcha.
her stat sheet, as she, as well as all of the other characters, are NPCs created in a game, which were eventually transported into a parallel world and made into actual living creatures. And so this is her stat sheet. Now,
Okay, let's.
Oh,
This is-
damn. I didn't think she had so much HP.
yeah, that is her thing. Her point is to be tanky. Now,
What game is
she
this? Sorry.
what?
What game is
It-
this?
it's not so much a game, it's a anime that was originally based on a game that
Oh, I
when the
see.
game ended, got transported to a different world.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so she is adorable, but she is not the only insectoid individual that works for the Guild of Einzulgaun. Perhaps
the next
the the next one is much weaker than her, but still an adorable creature in of himself.
And a whole lot more terrifying.
Mr. Kyohuko, the cockroach lord of the dark pit of the second floor of the Great Tomb of Nazarick.
Seems like a cool guy.
Yep, he's a 30 centimeter, or about 15-inch tall cockroach that walks on its hind legs,
Alrighty.
and he and his entire family of billions of other cockroaches guard this area because now that they've been transported into and made into real creatures, they have a food problem. So because not much drops in here, so as he
Being a
says,
tomb.
his family has grown tired of cannibalism to survive, and You can. That's why whenever they and here is a panel of the manga with him and Entama.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever they get something tossed in by, and he is also one of the five greatest evils found within the Grave Tomb of Nazarick. Not that he's an
Nice.
evil guy, as you can see, his justice score is only -10,
Mm.
nowhere near, say, Demiurge, who has -500. He's a pretty neutral guy. He just obedient to his lord to the very letter, and does his job. Yeah, it's the nothing personal kind of character. Uh, and of course, whenever, as he is a insectoid druid, he is versed in the likes of commanding insects through animals, and also the healing. Uh, because whenever a new prey item falls into their little lap of luxury, like these very, very noble adventurers that have decided to provide themselves as nourishment for his family. Uh, so imagine being devoured while you're alive by millions of cockroaches. No matter how much you flail, fight, or what, you are just drowned in a tide of cockroaches that are eating you alive. And just when you think that death is about to claim you, this bigger cockroach with a cape, crown, and scepter heals you back to perfect health.
Well,
And the
not
process
just
goes
say,
over
not just.
again.
I'm not just saying that. Inside, they crawl inside you and eat you inside as well.
I have a feeling
Yeah.
self-conflagration is probably not a bad a thing.
But yeah, they can either eat you from the outside in, or they can crawl inside of you and eat you outside out. And in every case, just as you're about to reach the point of death, that one motherfucker with the scepter just heals you back to perfect health condition, and the process continues again and again and again until everyone is fully fed or his mana runs out from healing.
I'm getting my bug spray. Not just a bug spray. That's not what we call a bug spray. That's called a planetary flame.
No,
To burn planets with
You
those.
call the mobile infantry.
Uh, so, two
Do you
quick
want to live
questions.
forever? Oh god, that means something entirely different in this
Oh
case.
God!
In
Oh.
in this particular instance, you don't see. Because that's literally what they do. They make you basically live forever and continuously eat you.
That's a good thing I'm a Necron.
By the way, welcome, Jono. He
Nothing but
joined
bones
us
on me.
a few minutes ago, several minutes ago. I'm glad you came, John, because I think we were talking about some stuff you would really actually enjoy and appreciate. Two questions. One for you,
So
Chris.
yes, these are two insectoid monsters that I'll be sharing today.
Awesome. So, first
Wasn't
question
a
is...
giant armored bug too
What are you talking about?
in Overlord?
He's. I guess he also is insectoid, but he's not as fun.
Right.
But
These are funner.
No.
More fun.
These are more funny. I also considered including Lord Touch Me. He's one of the players that created NPCs within the game. He was an insectoid, but because he's decked in full plate armor, he just looks like a humanoid.
So, C, the first question for you. Looking at... let me see. Let me get her name here. Entoma, right? The insect-loving maid. So, C, would you consider her...
No, the maid herself is also an insect. And she doesn't love them, she just uses them as tools. See, now, Kyokuho, he actually loves his family. Because, he's their patriarch and he has to make sure that they have something to eat. Entama just
Okay.
uses them as tools, while he's a caring family man that is also loyal to his lord.
I see. You're talking about the Cockroach King.
Yes.
Okay. So, see, if she approached you, she loves Necrons, you totally hit it off. The chemistry is all going. But she has this tiny other side to her. Could you still consider dating her?
I mean, if I found out she was a spider person, I probably would very rapidly, very fast find the nearest cell, lock myself in for genocide. Because if I find that thing existed, I'd probably try to kill it.
I know my answer.
Say it.
What I just did. I'll
Let's see.
repeat.
Not everyone is aware what an M24 is.
Alrighty.
I don't care. It's caulking a goddamn bolt action.
Right. And Chris, the question I had, so I'm not sure if you answered that in describing the cockroach guy here, but since she has this power to kind of manipulate insects, right? Does she have any of that power on him? Why or why not?
Technically, she does, as she is a more powerful entity than him. So, you see, power-wise, the cockroach guy is, I think, level 40, I believe, 40 or 50, while Entoma is about level 60 or 70, I believe. And difference between one level to the next is 10 times over. So a level 2 character is 10 times stronger than a level 1 character. So you can see the power difference between the two of them.
I see. So she kind of just lets him be. Are they...
I don't know, both of them are loyal subjects to His Majesty Lord
okay.
Ainzul Gaon, and they serve him together, so she doesn't have any need to control him.
Gotcha.
He does it on his own free will.
Can you post
Plus,
a...
she's actually part of a higher stature, as she is
Can you
one
post-
of the few maids.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you post an image of that lord?
Oh, Ainzul Gaon, the skeleton man.
Yes.
Papa Bone Daddy.
Let's take a look at this. And what is this game or anime or...
It's an anime. It's an anime called Overlord, which
Okay.
is an isekai where this guy,
Nice.
Momonga, plays a virtual reality game, MMORPG, and the servers are being shut down, and he's supposedly the last player left online. He's just waiting for the servers to shut down while he's logged in. And in the process, he gets transported along with his entire guild hall and all of the NPCs there to a fantasy world where they all become real people. And so he's currently trying to take over the world and all of the NPCs, as to them, the players that created the guild hall and the NPCs themselves, those players are like creator gods. They
His family.
Okay.
So
that's to him, but the NPCs feel like to the NPCs, the players are literally gods, the perfect beings that have created them and everything within Nazarick. And they kind of love Momonga most, or Ainzul Gaon, because he is the only one who left to come with them to this new world. They don't know why the other beings vanished, but he's the only one currently present,
Okay.
so they're eternally loyal to him.
And it is also
Cool.
kind of the case that in the game, the highest level of mages, similar to D&D, literally alter reality. So by their
I
own
see.
power, they are gods.
Right. Interesting.
And the
Yep.
main reason Ainz is probably one of the most broken OP characters, is because in his game, him and his entire guild were pay-to-win players. So when you transfer that into real life ability, you can imagine how broken that might be.
Right.
I wish there
That's
was
wild.
such a pay-to-win option in this world.
Well,
I mean,
we do
you
kind of
can't
have
pay
one.
away.
It's the corrupt leaders.
Shush you.
We live in a world
just-
like that, especially some of your countries.
I'm just sad there's no Kitsune in Overlord.
Pretty sure there is somewhere in the world. They just haven't featured it yet.
God damn it.
Speaking of exoskeleton monsters, I think he can kind of borderline count as an exoskeleton monster for today.
He is just an undead.
He's an
No,
inner outie.
he's considered a lich.
Right. Okay, so
An arc lich.
any questions for Chris's share or any of the previous shares today so far? Or comments? Everybody happy? Satisfied? Full? Nobody is hungry? Thirsty? Need a poop?
And I suppose I
mean,
can
wasn't
just
that-
For the
Sorry, go on.
sake of consistency, I can share them. So this is another one of the players that was Momongo, the Skeleton Man's best friend. Lord Touch Me, the best warrior player in the entire game, arguably.
Mm-hmm.
And he is an insectoid creature, but you can't, as I mentioned, you can't really see it underneath all of his armor
Mm-hmm.
and the shiny effects that he had. And the other creature that Z mentioned is a Cocytus, where he is another of the NPCs. He's a floor guardian, a level 100 NPC, where he was
Mm.
built entirely around the concept of being a noble warrior. And he
Cool.
is, weirdly enough, he is not Touch Me's creation. He's created by someone else. I don't recall
Okay.
who exactly. But he's basically this giant armored ice bug that is follows a strict code of the noble warrior, which the only thing that supersedes it is his loyalty and devotion to his lord and master Momonga.
Okay. Is this show does it have adult themes to it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
A few.
I was hoping so because I think then that would make for a very cool show. I may have to check it out sometime.
The
Unfortunately,
CGI
they
is
have
shit.
used some really bad CGI.
Oh,
Very.
okay.
Like the story is absolutely amazing. The characters are wonderful, but that goddamn fucking CGI. Oh god.
Right. It's
Yeah,
like
you
the
can
old
see with
Beast
that.
Wars.
You can see with that. You can see with that last piece of fan art that
Mm-hmm.
the last piece of fan art that was posted.
Yeah.
That in of itself is a trillion times better than what that fight
Trillion.
actually is.
Alrighty. Something from John above regarding Mothra, since we were talking about Mothra and nobody had much information. So just a recap on the abilities there, some that we talked about and maybe one that we missed. He says the classic powers are web shooting. Don't know how it actually is called in English, but yeah, the kind of silk shooting ability. When she turns into Indigo form, right? Indigo form? Is that what you're saying there?
Yeah, that's Indigo.
Okay. She has the power to reflect attacks through an energy shield, including Big G's atomic breath. That's powerful. And in some incarnations, GMK if not mistaken, she can shoot energy beams as well. Also in King of the Monsters, spoiler. Should I click on the spoiler or not?
No.
Okay.
I mean, if I can't tell spoilers, no one else should.
You guys can click on it yourself if you want. But I think her strongest power is that even though Mothra dies, there's always a rebirth of Mothra. So that in the same way as Godzilla, there will always be a Mothra. He is always listening. Oh, that's me. Okay. Jono, do you have a favorite version of Mothra, or all in all, because it's a reincarnation? Because that latest reincarnation is pretty magnificent. Her final reincarnation. Okay, let's go to, we were going uphill here, so let's go back a little bit, a couple steps, and let's talk to Bog, Queen of Kobolds. Boggo.
Oh boy, it's my turn.
Oi.
I'm here.
How are the swamps today? Okay, that didn't work out. So, Boggo, what do you have to share?
I actually have another type of dragon to share.
Excellent.
2 of them, actually.
All right, let's see 'em.
First of all, do you all remember about the D&D afterlife that all the goblin folk get to go to?
Yep.
Ah, yes.
That I told y'all about?
Yes.
Well, this is a creature that actually comes from that plane.
Is it Goblin Slayer?
No.
Sorry.
Couldn't help yourself.
If I were talking about Goblin Slayer, I'd be going, Goblin!
Goblin.
So anyways, this is a totally not goblinoid creature at all. It's a dragon.
A very ghoul of you.
It's called the Rust Dragon. It's an
Yay.
especially terrifying dragon in my... You want to know?
Post image.
You know what? Arthur,
Yep.
you got this. I
Okay.
believe in you. Find a picture of...
Gotcha. All right, so tell us about it.
So anyways, the Rust Dragon actually starts life as a much smaller creature known as the Rust Monster that is a weird, rather large insect that is well known for touching iron things with its antenna and making them rust because of the
That sounds
bacteria on it.
terrifying.
Very fun creature for
Yeah.
DMs. Very
So
fun creature.
those can actually metamorphosize into a thing known as a rust dragon on that plane.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Instead of having bacteria that makes metals rust, they just have a magical aura around them and on them that makes even things that items that normally wouldn't corrode. Like, oh yes, my magical sword won't be affected by this. I'm just gonna hit this here dragon. Oh,
Nice.
it even has a breath attack that does that worse, and it's just like, I'm gonna eat your arm. And it's still a dragon, so it's gonna murderize you most likely. I mean, it's a dragon that has to survive on a plane of eternal, so you know it's pretty tough. And it's still got those antennae, and it's got bug wings. It's nice.
Cool. A moment here to shout out the Rust Monster. I always hear good reviews. Well, I don't know. I can't say that. But if you are new to D&D or want to give a headache to your players, a little fun headache, I think the Rust Monster is a great little monster for DMs to play around with and summon.
Just play a monk and punch it to death.
When I was very young, still back in Africa, about 5-6 years old, maybe younger, I had this collection of toys, these little like miniatures, plastic little miniatures, but not like good quality like today's minis. Just little kind of like army men almost quality, but painted. And I actually had a rust monster. I never knew what it was. It was just this ugly little insect that you guys saw, actually big, and a few other ones that were probably from D&D. And it's not until like some years lately, probably like the last 6 years of my life, that I realized, wow, I had a little D&D miniature. So shout out to D&D for hitting it all the way to South Africa in the 80s. All right, Balg. Sorry for the interruption. Cool creature.
It's fine. Oh, they're bigger than a person.
Yeah. they're good
Like,
size.
imagine a rust-colored insect with big, fluffy antennas the size of a cow running at you because you're wearing iron armor.
I need a stone. I need a very large stone. I need a stone. Maybe a small moon to throw at it.
And they travel around in groups.
Okay, I'm going to need a lot of moons.
So yeah, just imagine that for a second, and now you know why they're one of the most feared. They're one of the creatures that a dwarf dreads to face.
Nice. Oh, crap.
And you can like throw iron scrap to get them to not. They'll basically go towards the largest piece of iron.
So they're still simple
sort
creatures.
Of metals. So some people will just like throw them their shield and be like, "Don't take me, arm," and they'll stop there. They will eat stuff like gold, but they prefer.
What is their favorite metal type?
Iron. Ferrous.
Iron.
Ferrous, basically.
Ferrous. What is ferrous?
Iron.
Means iron.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Ferrous in general means iron, but as an overall description, I'm pretty sure it means anything that can rust.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Okay. So all
The
the
easier it is
metals.
for a metal to rust, the more it likes to nibble on it.
Z, do you agree with that image?
Attack on Titan.
I can't load it right now.
I have one somewhat cringy older video that I have of Attack on Titan on my channel. I only have one video, so it's easy for you guys to find if you're interested. But it has been garnishing crazy views lately. And I'm not sure why. Is it because there's a new season or something of Attack on Titan?
Currently, the second part of season 3 is going on.
What's that?
Currently, the second half of season 3 is.
The second half of season 3.
Yes.
Okay. Is in progress. Okay. Good. So the show's still doing well, because I used to hear a lot more about it, but actually in the US, I don't hear that much about Attack on Titan, and I rather enjoyed it.
The first half of season 3 bored me to the point that I stopped watching it, but I've been told to pick it back up.
That's because you're lame and you appreciate the finesse of political intrigue.
No, political intrigue does intrigue me, but it has to be done right. And I'm sorry, other than the scene that, for anyone who hasn't actually seen it, I'll only reference one point. The point in the bar.
Well, if anything, the second half of the season is basically one battle, you could say, where you have two opposing forces of small army size that are at a specific location, and currently they're waging battle. And this has been going for the past 4 episodes, and probably I'm thinking it's going to extend through half of the second part of the 3rd season. It's a pretty intense battle. Kind of
So,
the majority of the plot hangs on it.
Bago, back to the Rust, because I've never heard. Actually, I have heard of the Rust Dragon. I didn't know it was a second stage in development for the Rust monster. I believe it's one of the weaker dragons in D&D, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It doesn't need to be strong. It takes the warrior's power away from them.
Ooh, okay.
It just leaves a bunch of fighters going around trying to punch a dragon. And you know how well that works?
Right. So it
when they're immune to non-magical attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you gotta hope your wizard friend can do something.
Yep.
Prepared magical weapon or something.
Always comes down to the wizard.
But no, magical weapons don't work against them. They still rust too.
Right,
I mean,
unless it's not metallic based. Right. So, okay, that's cool. How about a team up of a rust monster and another, or a rust dragon and another dragon? That would be a hellish battle.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So as far as
that's a recipe for you being dead, is what it practically is.
As far as
also, you remember that time I talked about mind flayers? Just stick a rust monster in a mind flayer brine pool. Now that is a nightmare.
All you need basically to deal with once, essentially, so you need a gold wizard.
I'm gonna say one thing, which is probably only a reference between us two, but fuck off, Durin.
No, I'm talking about Bitch Boy Gelt.
Gelt is probably the most amazing character. The least interesting character.
Okay, I can give you that. So, for context, in Warhammer Fantasy specifically, in the Empire of the Humans, there is a College of Magic, where they have 8 different institutions to study the 8 different winds of magic each. And the gold wizards are the wizards that learn the lore of metal. So they can do all manner of nonsense with metal. And one individual in particular, called Balthazar Gelt, was a pretty magically OP dude. Basically, he
Not
has
exactly OP. He's just very strong for human mage.
OP for human standards. He has a knack of turning people into gold statues when he doesn't flag them.
Nice. Can you clarify, Bog, the abilities of the Rust Dragon? How does it rust? Does it actually have a exhaust or something, like a flame or anything through its mouth that it can use to rust metals?
It has a breath attack. I forget exactly how it works, but I do believe that it does damage, probably of some concussive sort, on
Okay.
top of rusting things
Okay.
faster.
So that's the method through which it rusts as well. And as far as the insect and the rules,
Also, it just has an aura of around it. Things just corrode faster.
Okay.
And if you hit it, they corrode faster. So basically, if you think about it, in this edition, there's a few points that it can go down before it just becomes completely useless as a weapon. And
Okay.
when you're standing close to it, it starts to get bad.
Nice.
When you hit it with it, every time you hit it with it, it gets worse. And if it breathes its attack on you, it gets even worse. And also your armor, your shield, etc. Even if it's magic, if it's something that it might be able to corrode, it will.
Is that the same effect from the Rust Monster? It has that aura as well?
No, it has to. No, that one just has to touch with its little feelers.
The antennae.
That's why the Rust Dragon is so much scarier.
I see. Awesome. Love them. Good job, D&D. Okay, let's hear about the second one.
The second one is the Fairy Dragon. They're adorable. They like to trick people. They're very magical. They're basically immune to magic. In just totally immune, almost totally immune to the magic of other people. They really like swimming. They like treasure just like all other dragons, except the things they covet more than anything else are certain types of baked goods. The magnum opus of things that it would go to the ends of the earth to get is an apple pie.
A good apple pie? What?
Yeah, a good apple pie, preferably. They really like swimming, and they really like doing pranks, and they will do crazy amounts of stuff just to be able to get their little paws on a apple pie.
So you mean to tell me that a bunch of magic immune annoying twits want to take my apple pie?
Pretty much.
I want
Grabs
one.
mace.
I want one.
Also, they're friends with things like pixies and stuff, and they're not mean.
Okay,
They,
grabs fly swatter then.
Fuck that las cannon.
For something that is literally the size of your hand, you're gonna miss.
I don't care.
No, they're about the size of a house cat.
Oh.
Still, a las cannon, probably gonna miss.
Probably gonna miss, but the heat alone is enough to fry some wings.
Bog, is the image the one you're referring to?
Pardon?
Bog, is the image that I posted the one you're referring to from Forgotten Realms?
Yeah, but funnily enough, according to the lore of them, that's actually a little wrong. Its wings should be platinum.
Oh.
But that is the official picture of it. According to lore, they have platinum-colored wings, and the scales on their body change color as they get older. The oldest they can get is violet.
Okay.
And then that's where their wings stop changing color.
Do they?
Females have a little bit of a shine to them. That just the little bit of area around them, they'll be surrounded in a slightly golden light, and males get a bit of a silver light when they're in the sun. Both of them, that's when they're in the sun. They really love swimming so much that they'll that they learn one of the first spells they learn is water breathing, because they can't breathe water normally.
Okay.
No,
And most of the spells,
if I
and they're
want
willing to
deal with
learn.
one, I just grab it by the neck, shove it in a bucket of water, and wait.
No, no, it has water breathing, you fool.
Yes, but that wears off eventually.
Why kill it?
It's
These creatures are lovely.
Okay,
It wants to
so
take my
first of
pie.
all,
I shall
there's a
mace
couple
it.
of problems with that. First of all, they're generally pretty nice and make friends with a lot of different creatures, whether they be animals or fae. And you don't mess with fae. They are
trusty fly
they
swatter.
commonly
You can try and come get me.
they commonly accompany pixies because they have a similar amusement for tricks.
Okay.
Secondly, they are very powerful illusionists as far as their sorcery goes, and they are capable of learning other spells, but they specifically never try and harm anybody.
Nice. Okay.
Like they'll never learn they'll never learn a spell to hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
To
If
quote
they're
Joey
going to
from
learn
the
it
TV
for
series
a trick.
Friends, to quote Joey from the TV series Friends, Joey does not share food.
Another excellent little monster to add to your campaign, especially how kind of not benevolent it is, but it doesn't want to cause harm, but it can wreak a little bit of havoc here and there.
Like they really love honey, so one thing that they might do is they may make a beehive look like a treasure chest.
Mm-hmm.
And when some greedy person goes to open it and steal things, they'll get bees on them. The bees will chase the person away, and they get to eat honey. So not only do they get to have a fun trick,
Right.
but they also get to have another one of their favorite foods.
Very
And
cool.
it's not like they're actually trying to harm the person, because most people don't die to bees.
Depends on the
At
type.
least not the ones in
Right.
at least the ones in D&D
Mm-hmm.
is what I was going to continue on.
So, these two creatures that you mentioned today, Bog, have you experienced them or ran them in campaigns before?
Yeah, they're usually pretty fun to interact with.
Cool.
Also, they make friends with real dragons.
Nice.
So, like, if you go to try and hurt this fun little dude, suddenly you've got an ancient metallic dragon and some very powerful fae, all very angry. That is not a recipe for living. Not only that, but it'll probably get away from you with its powerful illusion magic.
Right. Okay. There's
Come
Chris's
get me.
fly swatter. Cool. So as far as its anatomy, it doesn't have much of a exoskeleton anywhere or really insectoid features, right? Unless the wings are more so.
The wings are more insectoid. It doesn't have an exoskeleton, but it's definitely got the butterfly wings.
Okay. Very cool. Great shares. Any questions or comments?
It better stay away from my fucking pie.
I'll just say I want one. Again. I want them all. Anything we talk about here, I pretty much want. So, there you have it. I guess that's why I do these, so I might as well not say that anymore. Yeah, thank you, Bog. Anything to add?
Fairy dragons are precious, and if you harm any of them, I shall come to you personally. And I'd be a very angry lich.
Come
As,
get
as
me.
a lover of dragons,
Lich
I will
bitch.
take one off. I will gladly adopt one off you.
Yay. Cool, we got some adopters here. The charity is going well. We're going to save these
Also,
guys.
If you want to keep them on the good side, just make some pie for them.
No.
And they'll they'll be very nice to you, and you can like have a little pie party
I
where
want them to
you're all
leave me
out
alone
by
with my
a
pie.
So-
swimming
Pie is
hole.
mine.
You give them pie, and okay, you know what? You're just a greedy whatever
Right.
the necro thing you're called.
No,
So
I'm
que-
a rat.
question.
Excuse me.
Uh-oh, he mixed them up.
Excuse me.
The worst mix-up of the
Now
century.
you listen here,
Or
you
the
little.
best. Actually, that's a great idea,
well-
Bog. Like, if your daughter's having a birthday party, just have a
Powerful
big
spell-
pie party. And these dragons will come and the kids can play with them.
So question. You said apple pie is their favorite, right?
Yes, specific.
So if you don't make apple pie, you should be fine.
What about apple pie with alcoholic cider? That's still
Oh
apple.
no.
I mean, they'd probably
That's
think it was a
tiny.
great joke.
That's an A.
I mean, if you want to get a very powerful illusionary spellcasting trick-playing dragon drunk, they'll probably think it's a great joke afterwards.
I find
But
this
you
idea
might-
great. Yes, I'm doing it.
Donde, something looks wrong about that apple pie gif that you posted. That doesn't look like a very
That doesn't.
yummy
Yeah, that doesn't
apple
look
pie.
cooked.
Yeah, it
doesn't look
looks
cooked,
it looks a little
I'd say.
fleshy to me. What you posting there, Donde? Huh? I thought this was Griffo's side of things. All right. We're pretty far in. I'll accept a moment of silence for that phrase. But we are an hour and 50 minutes in. I would like to discuss, mention a couple things. What somebody texted on our YouTube. And the next discussion. And then we'll finish up with the last three folks, possibly, if they do want to share. So first of all, Raincrawler over on YouTube. Let's see how many viewers we got live right now. Okay, we got somebody watching, some people. Raincrawler said the Lovecraftian creatures, Migo, I'll have to Google an image for that, are a race of crustacean insectoid fungus with wings like bats, whose heads, go figure, right? Whose heads have a lot of small antennas that change color to communicate with each other. Nice detail. He also adds, they take human brains and they push them into cylinders that are carried to Yogoth, Pluto. Migo have advanced technology and they praise the god. Oh boy, that's a pronunciation there. Nyarlathotep.
Nyarlathotep.
The Mimic movie, if you guys have seen The Mimic, I still need to watch that. Important watch. Developed by genetic engineering, creating to eradicate a plague of cockroaches. Not a plaque in your mouth. They evolve and started hunting people. They use their wings to disguise as man with a long black coat. Yep, I need to watch that. Cool. So thank you for the mentions, Raincrawler. Okay. Any thoughts on that?
I dislike the first one.
Me
I
go.
obscenely dislike the first one.
Ooh, I just found an image of Migo, I think.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Lovecraft does has a certain charm.
Absolutely. I'm really getting an itch for some Lovecraft lately. I really want to get into reading that, and if we do a book club, I think we're going to get started with some Lovecraft.
I found a lot of the audiobooks on what's it called on YouTube actually.
Donde, I do.
Excuse me, but I'm grabbing my bolter.
You're
And
gonna
the
say
heavy
something
flamer.
else.
Oh, it's cute. You think a bolter is going to help against anything Lovecraft has written?
If you believe hard enough, it will.
That's not how it works.
Yes, that is precisely how it works.
No, not with Lovecraft.
I have to shout out a YouTube channel. I wouldn't mind you guys going over there and, I don't know, saying something cool. But YouTube this sometime.
He said something cool.
If you can. It's Blue Worm.
Necrons are really cool.
It's a YouTube channel, and it's a artist. I fancy his work very much because he works with stop motion creatures and such, and he creates a lot of like short stories and poem videos of Lovecraft's work. He's totally underrated and unfound on YouTube, go figure. So Blue Worm, as I spelled it there, please check him out. Give the Monsterhood a shout out there so he knows, because I always support him, and I just want him to know that our little family is aware of him. I don't like when people use the word family. It's our Monsterhood. I think that's deeper and better than sometimes a family can be. So yeah, Blue Worm, go check him out. Especially if you enjoy Lovecraft, he actually has these monsters in his videos. He created them in stop motion, and he does excellent stop motion monsters. And you don't see that enough these days, since the days of Harryhausen. So yeah, shout out to Blue Worm. Perfect for Halloween, and we'll do. What spoiler is this? Here's some artistically done pie. Let's click on it. It's not Godzilla. Oh yeah, there we go. I will eat that pie, except for the hairy fringes there. That actually looks more tasty, though, than that previous one.
Actually, to be honest, yeah, you're right.
I mean, you know it's fruity. So, what's been going on? So thank you, Raincrawler, for that. Let's talk about, real quick, about what we're going to talk about next week. Am I going to be here next week? Let me check first. The 8th. Yes, I'm going to run next week's... we can run a Monstercast. But the week after, I'm not going to do one. I'll be somewhere else. Maybe I'll join in on the phone for some voice, but I'm not going to be recording anything. So that's for the 15th. But next week we are going to have a Monstercast, so don't get confused. I would also like to start running some games here, but we're going to probably have to replace Monstercasts when we do games, such as any tabletop thing that we do on here together. I'll probably start that after my trip, so sometime after the 15th, probably 22nd. At the end of this month, maybe we'll run our first board game here. I'll probably do a test run off the Monstercast by myself, or I'll invite somebody from here if you're interested.
Oh, will we be doing it on what's-face tabletop simulator?
Yes, because that one, they have a nicely fashioned full version of the board game that I have, so it is compatible with that. So yes.
Which board game are you going to be running?
It's going to be Village Attacks. So we'll start off with that. We'll see how that goes. Village Attacks, that's the board game I have, and you guys are probably aware of it by now. I've mentioned it enough, and I have the video of unboxing it, and I mentioned running it on the main YouTube channel. Still don't know if I'm going to do that. But that game is best run with 3 players, and it's a co-op mode. So it's 3 of us against the game, you can say. But we can do it. It just gets really harder and harder the more players you have. But we can do it, I think, up to like 6 and beyond. But it's just you're gonna spawn too many villagers at that point. So just a heads up on that. I hope when we do run it, because it's gonna be 4 or 5 of us probably playing or whatever. I do hope that we still have people in attendance and people are having fun and watching and and putting their thoughts into the game as well, like what we should do and how, into the strategy. So, but we'll see. We'll start with a simpler game like that I know how it works well now, so I can teach you guys quickly and we can get it running. And after that, we'll see. But it'll have to replace one of the Monstercasts probably, just because we know who's in attendance already and all that.
And any chance for one of our future games to be D&D potentially, or something of the sort?
We are moving, so that's, I wouldn't say the goal, but that's certainly something we're moving toward. And I know we already have a couple people that would like to possibly run that. I do have the rule books for 3rd edition. I can easily get 5th edition as well. But for sure we can do that, and we can even go into Warhammer. If we're using the simulator, we can do Warhammer skirmishes and such. So
okay, is there any possibility to do the D&D version of Warhammer? The thing that Z is currently playing with another YouTuber. It is I'm not
I'll be
familiar at all with
honest.
the
I
army
would
stuff.
I don't really like what's it called, the system.
what is it called? Is it official?
Yes, it's one of the official systems.
Really?
You
And they
don't like it
mixed up
because of
Warhammer
the-
with.
No, I don't like the system. It's specifically that.
Well, what is it exactly?
Which system do you not like? What part of the system do you not like?
The rolling.
Okay, you roll D100. The lower you roll, the better your.
Yes, but that's
Better
like you know how easy it is to fail.
That's what the fun comes from.
Yes.
Okay, but
Motherfucker.
is this who created these rules then? And what is the game
Some
called?
masochistic motherfucker at Fantasy Flight Games.
What is it called?
Don't know exactly. Z, you have access to that. What exactly is the game called?
Warhammer Fantasy, Grim Adventure, I think.
Is it the Warhammer where Warhammer are like creating their own kind of D&D? But
Basically, they tried.
but it's official.
Emphasis
This is
tried.
created by Games Workshop, or not?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Fantasy Flight Games authorized. They are authorized by.
Okay, I
By
didn't
Games
know if that was already finished or still in the works. So that's definitely
that's another game. I mean, that already died.
okay. Well, I'm curious in it, so definitely along the lines we can check that out. I would be curious too, Chris. So let's start with something simple. Let's see how the feedback is and how everybody's enjoying it, and we'll go into more and more advanced as we move forward. I also have a more advanced RPG here as well. So
We're talking about next week.
what's that, Chris?
So what are we talking about next week?
So as far as next week for our next Monstercast, well, any suggestions? Let's not flood it with suggestions.
I don't know.
Yeah, just a sec, John. We're gonna decide on the topic, and then we'll continue with the last people to share their stuff. We're already at 2 hours in, guys. So let's speed things up if we can. Okay, so suggestions for monsters. Favorite Godzilla mythos monster.
I would like me some Godzilla because
so
I have
Godzilla
rolled it
lore?
all back today.
It'll be a good time to discuss it still. Godzilla is still going to be very relevant and hot. And we will all have hopefully seen the movie too. Okay, so we have Godzilla. Last week I mentioned Slow and Dangerous. But I'm going to try to think of something different this time. Ooh, I got one. Let's see, just prepare next time around. I feel we talked about that kaiju. Yeah, we talked that in kaijus. We already talked about giant monsters, right?
Yes,
okay.
but I feel like
Sound likes it.
we should talk about Godzilla specifically. Cause hype.
I'm gonna go a little bit more niche and suggest over-furred creatures. Just total hairballs. Okay. Flying monsters, Donde suggests. Creatures that could fly. Okay, we got 3 suggestions. I'll leave 5 more seconds for anything
Undead.
else. Sorry, Bog?
Undead monsters.
Undead, that's a big one, but okay. We can do with Undead 101. I don't know if we've done that yet. Narrow down the demon topic. Yeah, we need to... Well, Donde, you see, we're 1 year in almost with the Monstercasts. We've done a lot of general topics, and I'm hoping in the next years... Well, we'll have to. We'll start
Eventually.
narrowing down topics in the specific demon types. Specific, because I really like the specifics. And we have... Actually, what's been awesome with the Monstercast so far, guys, is that we do a lot of generals, but we do a lot of specifics as well. Since the beginning, we've done really pretty specific topics and then more general. But we haven't gone too specific yet. Okay, so let me list these out. Overly furred, that's mine. So Godzilla universe ones, Godzilla verse. Okay, universe. Monster. We got monsters that can fly. That's gonna be a ton.
Arthur, of course you'd be the one who'd want furry monsters.
Why? Why
Don't you
me?
see enough of them in the NSFW chat? So many furries.
Me? Are you confusing me? I don't really get involved there.
Probably
I
for the
know you-
better of your sanity.
Oh, I may have.
I know you're.
I don't know. I may have responded once and whatever.
You did not see what happened when I joined the server, and everyone was like, "Oh, hey, it's the son of Smaug." Oh no, the things I seen.
Anything that goes on in NSFW, I take less than a grain of salt. So, I think that's everything. Right? Oh, yes, and Undead. Sorry. Or Undead. We'll
Thank
call
you.
it Undead 101. Or, no, just Undead. We'll see where it goes. Bog can lead that one a little. Okay, so I think that's enough. I won't mention the Demon one maybe yet, Dande. We'll just keep one from you. Darth said reptiles. Should I add that? Okay, reptilian creatures. I think we might have done.
Yeah, we have had reptilian creatures before, but
Yeah. Okay, we'll keep it at these. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 suggestions. YouTube, nobody suggested anything there. Okay, so let's give it a quick vote. I'm gonna go one by one, or should everybody type in their vote? Please type in your vote, everybody, if you can. If you can't, let me know. I'll type in it. I'll type it in for you. So overly furred, Godzilla universe monsters, monsters that fly, undead. Those are the 4 topics. I'm gonna vote for. I'm gonna vote for my own, I guess, this time. Please don't post anything else. Just post your vote so we can tally that quick. I just used the word tally. That's fun. Okay, so let's see. Son of Smaug. Okay, so
Yes.
let's go. Pro said the Godzilla. C Godzilla. Dande fly. Son of Smaug fly. That's 2 against 2. What did you say, Jono? Heathen folklore monsters. Yeah, I kind of skipped through that. I didn't. It was long, so I didn't take it as a suggestion. Let's add that in. Actually, I'll edit my post above. Heathen. Is that all right, guys?
All right.
Heathen folklore monsters. Ooh, I might actually switch my vote to that one. And okay, so I'm gonna vote for Heathen folklore. Then we got 2 and 2 for flying and Godzilla verse. John, you can revote if you want to yours, or keep it at Godzilla. Bog voted undead. We got another one for Godzilla. Godzilla's in the lead. I vote my idea, he says. So Godzilla wins. Godzilla's in the lead. Okay. Okay, so next Monstercast, we're going to talk about epic scene.
I don't know what to vote for. I am going to abstain.
How are we going to run it? Because it's so general. Do you have any thoughts, Pro, since you came up with the idea? Which is favorite? Because we do favorites maybe too much. I don't know, maybe your... Oh, let's do a most hated one. How about that? What do you think, Pro?
Most hated what?
Most hated kaiju or monster of the Godzilla universe.
Okay. I suppose that works.
Least favorite. Okay, so Pro made it official. So yes, next week, Monstercast number 36? Or what's today? Today is 35. So next week, 36, is going to be about your least favorite Godzilla-verse monster. Okay? Your least favorite. I'm not... Okay. Fine. I'm going to talk shit about Euros. Okay. Cool. So, least favorite. I want to hear some hate. Serious trolling. Serious hatred in our next discussion. That's going to be our go for emotion next weekend. Is going to be anger, hate, which will turn into bliss in your own mind. That's what I want to see. Okay. All right, folks, let's continue with the last 3 and finish this up. Don't want to keep you guys too long. We're over 2 hours now. Let's go. Jano. Yes, Jano. Share your monster, please, for today's insectoid type monsters. Hurry up, Jono. After Jono, it's going to be Dio. Dio, if you have something, let me know. If you don't, let me know now. And Darth Phonics, let me know. Oh, Donde, you didn't share yet either, did you? Or I think you did. I'm not sure. Let me know if you shared anything, Dondo. No, you haven't. Okay. Donde. You're still the good... You're the good version today. So we got 4 people to go. Let's do this quick. I was going to reserve the last moments to just kind of throw out all the insectoid monsters there are out there. Just throw them out, you know. We can always do that at the end of shows just to show people what's out there. But I think we're out of time. So let's go with Dio. Dio. Well, I talk about Megalon from 1973 movie Godzilla vs. Megalon. Megalon is a humanoid, beetle-like insect standing 55 meters tall, 180 feet, and weighing 40,000 metric tons. Megalon is by no means intelligent.
Aren't we talking about this next time?
He makes, well, he's talking about his insectoid monster.
Oh.
He makes up for by his strength, so he's strong, not so smart. Megalon possesses 2 drill-like arms. You gotta love those drill-armed monsters, which it uses both for burrowing and as weapons. I like the design and his drill arms, Arthur. It was my pleasure to share my monster, and it's an honor to hear it and see it. He's a fun kaiju for sure. There you go. All right, folks. Any fans of Megalon?
I have not personally had the pleasure of knowing about him.
He's not one of the bigger, more epic ones, but I do like him. I'd say he's one of the... Does he have wings? It looks like he has...
That looks familiar
wings.
somehow. Yes, I've seen that one before. That was what... Yes, it was that legendary moment there.
Yeah. Dio, does he have
dropkick.
wings?
The flying dropkick, no less.
He is very cool, Dio. I like him. Does he have wings? Let me know. Because in the actual picture from the movie, it looks like he has wrapped wings behind him. And since he is kind of beetle-based, I wonder how he was formed or how he came to be. Okay, John is not sure. Okay. John is sharing his, and his is, my favorite insectoid monster is the centipede from King Kong video game. Ooh, they appear in the video game only though, but these mother effers are brave enough to attack bigger dinosaurs and Kong as well. Ooh, they scared me a lot as a kid. How old is the game? All right. I've said it before, I'll say it again, guys. I don't have problems with many creatures out there, and I'd still love to have centipedes, or I've had a centipede, large centipede, banded centipede as a pet, and I enjoy them as pets, but as far as creatures that freak me out a little, large centipedes are one of them. I don't care too much for spiders. I'm fine with them. Still need experience with tarantulas to be comfortable with them, but centipedes are much more unpredictable than any of the listed above, and so centipedes in my book still hold a pretty high position for uncomfortability with handling. Shout out centipedes.
Yay.
What an annoyance for Godzilla that would be, or more so King Kong, giant centipede. Okay, I got a long one here for...
Considering he managed to deal with a hentai monster and then ate it, I'd say he'd be...
Darth Phonics is sharing another SCP. Cool. He's our SCP man. So awesome to have that. I love having everybody have their expertises. I don't know if I'm going to read all that.
One. Oh.
Okay, so let's go. SCP-439. The Bone Hive Euclid. Basically, wasps or whatever, they are making a hive from a living human. He becomes something like a zombie. Ooh, I love it already.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've read that one. Mm-mm.
if you have that, Pro,
No.
can you remind me of that phobia? You know, where there's a lot of little dots or bumps. I always forget the word of that phobia. And I know Pro knows I've mentioned it many times. Trypophobia. If you're trypophobic, this creature is perfect for you in an evil sense. Okay, so here's what happened, he says, to infected humans. In approximately 48 hours after awakening, the host will complain of chest pains. By the way, guys, am I cutting out at all?
A little bit sometimes.
Okay, that's why I also try to read it quickly. Okay, I'll keep going. The host will complain of chest pains and shortness of breath, followed by shortly abdominal cramping. The tightness in the chest will increase as well as fever until the host is incapacitated. It is around this time onset that fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva, FOP occurs, a disorder that is normally genetic in nature that promotes growth of bone into muscle tissue. Since the production of new bone growth is so rapid, the procedure is also quite painful for the subject. The new bone spurs occasionally protruding through the flesh. While this is happening, the host will become compelled to seek shelter in a darkened enclosed place, such as inside household cabinetry and closets or heating ductwork. Second paragraph. Within the first 3 days, without treatment, the host will become completely withdrawn and immobile due to the extreme pain of new bone growth coupled with difficulty of breathing. At this point, the subject's body will begin its final stage of transformation into a bone hive. Sexy word, right, guys? Not really. A bone hive. Having a sexy word for our undead topic. Having concealed itself in its new home, the body of the host will huddle in a fetal position. Entire portions of the skeleton structure will shift along until the host body is roughly spherical in nature and reduced to 3/4 its original size. So kind of becoming a cocoon, a bone cocoon. New bone protrusions will continue to grow and, if possible, anchor the body permanently to a new location. Okay? The skeletal structure is almost completely unrecognizable, having been converted to a round cage to protect the internal organs and colony. Okay, my question now. A colony of what? What do these things look like? Just
They're
wasps?
kind of like white ant/termite wasp things.
Nasty. I love it. I love this whole description, this whole hell, just for these wasps. This crazy that is really awesome, actually. When you're talking about like science monsters and sci-fi and things and possibilities on this planet or on another planet, a organism that pushes this kind of disorder and disease within your body just to make its own hive. That's very possible. Very, very possible. Very grotesque. What a hell. Beautiful. Love it.
Quite the pain in the chest, you could say.
Watermelon for that, Darth Phonics. What do you guys think?
It's a horrible way to go, and I'm thankful that it does not actually exist.
Damn. I want to see this somehow in action. I don't know if it's good enough for a whole movie, but I want to see it somewhere. Like in a game, like Dead Space has its own cool little scenes and things. I want to see this somewhere in action.
If you want to see more of this particular SCP, I would suggest watching the Volgan's video.
Okay. Cool. One of the things I was going to do on the channel, if the people voted for, were SCP videos too. Maybe we'll still do it eventually. Maybe somebody will do it on the channel. I don't know. But I like it. Yay, trypophobia. My lady hates it. Okay, Dande, please share your final creature of the day. Mummy or mommy. Dande, please, if you will. Is that Mink Did Mink just join us? That is Mink. Hi, Minky. Not sure if he hears us. Okay, Donde says. My goodness, this is why I always start losing my voice at the end of these shows. I have... Unless somebody wants to read this. Anybody volunteer? 3, 2... Okay, that's a no. Okay.
No.
All right, let's go. Donde says, I have one out there. Of the 3, I'll share due to time. One that we haven't talked about, ants. The giant ants from Them. Huzzah. Which talks about ants infected by radiation. Ants then begin to colonize and spread in the southwestern region, and they have to stop them before they spread even more into the U.S., wiping out humanity. This also includes having to track them down in sewer systems, and the ants themselves are using them as tunnels. If that isn't enough, The Empire of Ants by H.G. Wells also talks about giant ants. In it, people are led to an island which is being run by giant ants. However, the inhabitants of the island are under control by the queen ant through the use of pheromones. Makes sense. And so, in a way, the people are slaves to them. Ooh, that's really, like, subtly creepy. I like that ending there. Just slave humans to this ant. It's still like a primal, simple beast creature, but because of powerful pheromones, you find these zombie-ish people serving them. I like that. I'm really in the mood for watching a giant ant movie right now. It sounds like somebody's sleeping. Son of Smog fell asleep.
Sleeping.
I think he did.
Yeah, he tends to do this. I apologize on his behalf.
Oh, you know him. Okay. Well, for the first time on the actual Monstercast in voice, we have somebody falling asleep. That is how amazing we are. Shout out.
He just stays up late and drinks a lot. It's not our fault.
He's in Wales. Okay, I got it. Cool. We have
it's not
people.
That he's in Wales. He's just a drunk.
We have people
Like
fall
an
asleep in
individual
our monster or our after parties. Dio does it often. Not really, but he has done it a couple times. And I think John has, but okay. Awesome. We got a sleeper tonight, guys. Let's whisper creepy things in his ear.
You're on the right track there, Z.
Wake up.
He is at it. I wish I could sleep like that, damn it. I couldn't even sleep much before this cast.
Yeah, I need to go to bed soon. I need to recover my
Great
strength.
chicken. Okay, let's wrap this up. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you, Donde. This has been a long Monstercast. Some great shares there. I didn't share much. I didn't really need to. We had a lot of great stuff. I was just thinking of The Fly. I wanted to shout out The Fly a little bit today. The newer with the Jeff Goldblum and the old one. I think I mentioned this on a Monstercast or sometime in voice. The old The Fly, the black and white one, has one of, I consider, the most traumatic, dramatic endings for a horror movie for that time. If you watch it now, you'll probably laugh or something like that because of the effects. But at the time when people were seeing that in the theater and they saw that ending, I don't want to do spoilers because that's the whole point, right? No, not me. It's Son of Smog that's sleeping. Mink. So that I recommend checking out that movie. I really want to watch it myself, but that ending is definitely very cringing in a creepy kind of way. It's very But the newer The Fly with Jeff Goldblum is a whole different take, and I didn't remember it so. I really like the process of the movie, and if you like monsters and special effects, you have to see that newer, I think it's from the 90s, The Fly with Jeff Goldblum of Jurassic Park. It's a must-see if you're a monster lover and such. So shout out to those. Other Insectoid
What did you call it?
The Fly. Both of them.
What did you call the movie you had to see?
The Fly. Both The Fly. So there's an older version, The Fly, and there's a newer The Fly.
Roger that.
So if you aren't up for watching an older movie, you want to watch something a little bit more upbeat because whatever reasons, do at least watch the newer one from the 90s, The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. Anyway, other insectoid monsters I'll just throw out there just to throw them out quickly is Tyranids, Zergs, the monsters from the the bugs from Starship Troopers, which we had a little bit mentioning that today. I caught that.
Do you want to live forever? Oh,
There we
wait,
go.
no.
No.
Never mind.
Great movie. What else here, quick, that I had in mind? That's it. I'm surprised Chris didn't mention anything from Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I believe there is,
The dragon
something up
and
there.
serpent flies, I suppose.
which, yeah,
would
were
be
mentioned before.
fitting.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to keep stuff to only new stuff.
Right. Yep, and there's a a gif from the newer Fly movie. That's the newer one. I don't know if there's a newer one than that. I wouldn't care for it, probably. So the black and white one, this one. All right, guys. That's my words. Do you guys have any final words referring to anything we talked about today?
Well, I
Any
kind
favorites?
of like insects in their own way. They have a certain, not charm, but a certain characteristic to them that kind of sets them apart from all other creatures some way.
Very much
It's
so.
a primitive, ancient thing that you know that you can find them everywhere. It's kind of a natural thing.
And for you
I mean-
guys,
No, go on, go on.
go on, see, finish your thought.
It's more like the fact that insects are probably one of the most fundamental things in the entirety of, well, monsters in general. There's so many more bugs than are humans. There's so many more bugs than there are any other creatures on the planet. I mean, maybe except of the plants, but you know. But bugs everywhere. They are just fascinating specimen of family of
Life form.
creation. Yeah, life form. So
Certainly.
in general.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mute him. There we go. Sun is muted now. I'll unmute him for his last words.
You only personally muted him. I can still hear him on my end.
So, and I agree. See, and again, for you guys that don't have money or time, but you want to play around a little bit with biology, have a pet, insects, other invertebrates, awesome pets. Mantises, excellent pets. Assassin beetles. Now you can even internet order assassin bugs. I plan to do this stuff and share it on the channel
Can
eventually.
an assassinate one on the other side of the planet?
No.
Oh wait, entirely different service. Never mind.
So a lot of cool little creatures you can get cheap or even free. Take care of them, observe, learn a lot about them, and it's just a fun experience. I would be largely considered by normies to be too old for this stuff, but I don't care to own a few little water snails and of different types. There's really cool ones if you look. There's ram's horns ones, golden apple snail, a lot of different types, and just enjoy that. I was going to mention another cool species, but I'll do it another time. We have many more Monstercasts to go. So anyway, shout out for them as pets again. All right, any other final words? I'll try not to add my...
Godzilla King of the Monsters is the best movie of 2019.
Here, here.
You
Here.
heard it here, folks. Okie
You should
dokie.
go watch it.
Dande, if you will, thank you for being here. Share your last words. Centipede. Thank you for being here. Darth Phonics, thank you for being here. You can share your last words. Dio, thank you for being here. You can share your final words.
Goodbye.
And oh my goodness, has this been the longest Monstercast yet? From insects? That must mean something. And it's not the most people we've ever had either. Jono, any last words from you, my friend? And Chris, final words from you?
Fear the unknown, shoot it in the face with a shotgun.
And on behalf of Victa, who's missing in action? Did you hear? Chris, on behalf of Victor. Not sure if he hears me. Do you guys hear me?
Yes, but Victor, we cannot hear him.
I'm pretty sure he left.
Yes, he left. So can you do the honors, Chris?
Alright, so his final words would be, don't fear the unknown, seek it out, study it, understand it. To which I follow up with my final words, fear the unknown, shoot it in the face with a shotgun.
There we have it.
My favorite.
Donde says insects and crustaceans rule. We're all in agreement, I think. Okay, and final words from you, Son of Smog. Let's unmute him. Let's see if he's still transforming. No, he's silent. Okay, a moment of silence for Son of Smog. Okay, Pro, Space Godzilla, final words from you. Something cheeky. And C, final words from you.
Necrons. Necrons are nice. Go watch Godzilla. You won't regret it. I mean, unless you don't like monsters.
And
If you don't like monsters, what are you doing here?
You did say Necrons, right? C. Don't disappoint me.
Necrons, of course.
Thank you. The Predators movies that still exist, says Pro. And on behalf of Bog, I see he left. I'll just say dragons. And once again, guys, thank you for making it an awesome Monstercast. Absolutely fantastic. Great information. I think my shout out for my favorite today on my behalf is going to be, they were awesome, but I'm going to say the one that stuck out for me and I just loved was the SCP one, just for the science, the nastiness to it. Shout out to that. The SCP one. All right. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful week wherever the hell you are on this planet or not. I bid you adieu. Stay monstrous, my friends. Cue music.
All right. Have a good night.
So, can we spoil Godzilla now?
No. Unless you move to a different chat.
Chris, shall we?
I'm likely to go to bed, actually.
Alright.
Yeah, this has
Alright,
been
but
going
how-
strong. Thanks, guys, for sticking around.